Hey everyone, so here we are in my shed again. So today my intention is to get some front ends, HR front ends sorted. I've cut them up, I've had them blasted, and I've got them ready for some parts to be welded in to strengthen them, plus to put the new outrigger on to suit the FAFC. And then I've got a bunch of the parts, so the wishbones and other components to be painted, so the cross members. And also I've got my my FE wagons subframe that's been blasted as well, and that's ready to be painted. So that's today's tasks. I'll do a quick look at what I've achieved so far. So here's something that I've done. I did last night. I got a little bit of work done early, so I'll just turn the camera around. So here it is. So this is the right, there we go. So this is a front end that I set up last night. There's another one there which I did last night as well. So this one's been welded. So there's my bottom plate to go on, and there's the outrigger's been welded on. I've just put a little bit of welder through primer on there because this is all going to be painted black today. That part will be welded on the bottom. So I'll just give you a heads up how I set these up. So previously I've cut off the old HR outrigger, which is a lot longer than the FEFC, or well, FBKEHEJ. This one, so I normally do it so that I've got these pins here remain the rivet pins that come through from the top on the outrigger. So I file them up right around so they fit the same hole. And then last night I sat them on there. Then I got a G-clamp there, G-clamp and a socket, and I just clamped that so that the pin would come through. And then if you look inside in there, you can see that's where the pins come through from the top. So now I've got a weld right around those. So this is with the bottom off it. So I've cut that bottom off, and that bottom piece is over there. That'll go back on and be welded on. But also what I want to do is in here, between just there and there, between there, I'm going to weld a bit of flat bar in there, which is there. I'll cut that to size, weld that in, and then weld the plate back on. So there's those rivets there. They go right through. So they're the locators to make sure that this thing ends up in the right spot. So what I did is I clamped those on, and then I tack welded underneath. So put a couple of tacks in here, one there, and then a couple of small tacks just here to hold those pins nice and tight in there so I can weld around them. When the plate goes over it, I'll weld that right round. I won't do it until that plate goes on, because that plate's got to be clamped to there. I'll put vice grips right round and then weld through the spot weld holes again. Buzz it up and then give it a coat of paint. All my other parts will go over here. So we've got stuff going on everywhere. So here's the other parts. So now I've got two front ends worth of parts. So there's a wishbones there for one front end, and there's the wishbones, and then some back and plates for drum brakes, and the wishbones there for the other front end. The back and plates are for the drum brakes. So I'm gonna put drum brakes, so they're going on this car. So that's the you bloody thing. How do I change this thing? So there's the subframe. Oh, this bloody stupid looking thing. It's annoying. How do I do that now? Okay. Right, we're back in business. So there's the subframe, and there's the rust repair sections to go in that. So today I'm planning to paint, because this has only just been picked up yesterday from being blasted. So I'm planning to paint everywhere it doesn't need the repairs, so because there's a lot of areas there, and then I've got to look at putting these sections on and doing the repairs. Oh, Boomer. So there's the cat, he helps me. This bloody thing. So as you can see, there's a bit of rust which is blown through here. So I'll be cutting it back here somewhere. But the reason I did it the way I've done it is I've taken all those sections off around here so that they can be blasted, and I've got nice clean steel to work to for the rust sections. Otherwise I'd take that off and find all that rust in there and I'd already have it blasted. So that's done. There's one other little piece of rust on the outside of this little bit here. Jesus. So there's a little spot. Get the hang of this thing, just there, which I'll cut that little piece out or weld that piece up. It's fairly solid inside there. So while I had had it at the blasters, I asked them to actually blast down inside in these areas, down inside there on all of them, and then also up the ends that I'd up inside here, up in through there, up, just to clean any scaly rust which could be in there off, and then I'll blow paint through there now. Back when they were made, they wouldn't have had anything in them. They would have just been bare metal. So before they were all spot welded together. So I'll just blow some new paint and everything in there, and it cleans them all out. But this is a pretty good subframe. There's a couple of other spots that need some repairs, but this is the one that come off the wagon. So that's today's jobs. So sorry about the camera work. I'm trying. Yeah, so that's it. I'll get some video done as I'm doing it, and we'll hopefully see some good results. So my plans are I'm just going to lay a lot of cardboard out, put all the bits and pieces on top, and then I use this high quality, good stuff, rust seal from KBS, really good stuff. You get it in subframe black, so for all these parts it's going to be good, what I need to do. All right, let's go. So one of the other things I do, so where the outrigger goes onto the front end, I drill holes from the back side and plug weld from this side. So when you look at the other side, the tab doesn't have weld on it. When it's finished, it'll look like it's just been spot welded again. And basically that's what I'm doing, I'm spot welding it, but from the inside. So when it's a finished product, you won't see these dirty, well, not dirty welds, but just welds on the outside like it's been, try and make it look factory looking. All right, just one part I forgot to mention. So again, there's those rivets. I'm going to weld those up now, and then make me piece of plate up. So here we are, we're ready to be painting. It's all those components ready to go. We're going to put a little bit of paint on the underside of those plates before they get welded on, and then they'll be painted inside these front ends before I weld my bracket across the cross member ready. And the other reason why I'm doing that is because people jack these things up in the middle and the thing just bends in. And I've gone to a fair bit of effort to cut these off and then straighten them, ready to go back on, so that they don't have that that bent part. I've got an old one in here, which I can show you. So this one here, I cut off another front end, and if you look at that, you can see how much it's bent, and that's from people jacking it up. I don't know whether you can see how far that's gone in. That's really a lot. That's stretched those, there's those two distinctive ribs there, it's stretched them right out flat, and that's very bad for me anyway. So that's why I do it. It just makes it a bit better to use for later. Anyway, so we're, hello Scooby don't. This thing is annoying me. So there we go, we're ready. I'll get some paint out now and we'll start painting. Alright, so we've done the, I've painted the underside of those because I'm going to be welding to the top side, so that the paint shouldn't come into play on that panel. Now this, I've welded the plate in there now, so they're both ready to have the plates put over the top. You can see that I've painted inside, and I've plug welded all of them in there. So now that is stronger than probably come from the factory, because they were just all spot welded and riveted. All right, so now we're ready to put the plates back on them, and then I can go and paint the whole lot. All right, so that's one down and all painted. So I've done underneath, as I just painted it all up. So I've got to flip these other parts over soon and paint them. It's come up all right. Pretty happy with that. Even underneath's come up very nice. So I'm about to go on to the second one. So I've gone and started to clamp that in position. Everything's lined up beautifully. Just a matter of going and doing the welding. All right. So this one will take about the same amount of time, and then we'll get this one painted. I'll get a video of the underside when I'm done. All right, so this one's going to be the one that has the red motor in it. The other one's going to have the grey motor. So no engine mounts on the other one. This one has to have engine mounts fitted later when I can set up the engine in the car. Righto, there we go. All right, here we are back again. So there's the finished product, all welded up. So when you look inside there, you can see there's the plate I put in. It's going to hold the strength in the base. I've fully plug welded the whole thing. Some of the welds are a bit of porosity because of the shit that's in there paint wise, but that's alright. And we're ready for paint. So I'll go over and I'll flip this over and paint the top, and then finish the rest of them off, I guess, and that'll be front ends done today. Not going to get to the subframe, I don't think. Anyway, I might look at flipping those others over now and paint the other side of them, and even the front end maybe flip that over. So, alright, here we go again. Alright, here we are again, next thing. So, front ends have been painted. I've just got to do the underside of that one that's turned up, like that one's been turned over. The rest of the parts have been painted. So now we're going on to the subframe. So I'm going to just paint all around the areas that I don't need to work on. And I've masked up, so I've put some weld through primer under there, and then I've masked it over so I don't put any paint on it. And then those parts will be welded up later. I'm going to try and blow paint straight down the legs and any of the areas that are tough to get to. And then yeah, we'll coat it up, give it a coat, flip it over, give it another coat. I'll give the other side a coat, and then yeah, we'll see how we go. But it's just going to be this rust paint again. It doesn't have to be anything special. It's just a subframe. It's just got to get rust protection. That's my aim. Alright, so we'll go and put a bit of time lapse on and see how we go. Alright, so you can see now we've finished everything, all painted. Big job, but had to get onto it or else they'd start rusting because they've been blasted. So now, I don't know when I'll start putting this stuff together, won't be long. But that's going to call that one a day. The next thing I'll do is maybe start doing some videoing of these repairs I've got to do. I've still got a bit of welding and that to do on the subframe, but the front ends are done. So all we've got to do now is yeah, get some more new ball joints and stuff and put them together. Some bushes. Yeah, that's a wrap. Catch us later.